Alright everyone, welcome to DTBTV. I'm just going to do a little video. I wouldn't say it's a rant, but it's close. I wouldn't say it's I'm just having a drink a minute. So I wouldn't say this is a rant, but it's close to it. I've just seen a status now, and people are entitled to their opinions. But before I say what I'm going to say, it's got nothing to do with that person just putting the status up. It's just because it's probably about the 20th I've seen from Liverpool fans. What do I always say about this group? I want this group to be an educational group where it's got the hardcore, the supporters on it that know their stuff about the club, that know when we're doing bad, what reason it's for, and why we can look at things without tinted glasses. So there's a saying in Liverpool, like, you get your education from the cop. But I also think as a fan group, it's our job as fans that are, in amongst it, or even like live and breathe the club. I know some people can support the club and they just, they just flip the match on once a week. But then there's ones like myself and thousands of others that just live and breathe the club. We know everything. We know the under 23 scores. We know the under 18 scores. We know our next 10 games. We know whatever. We live and breathe it. So it's our job to sort of like educate footballer, I don't mean intellectually, footbally, Liverpool wise, to do little videos so that then maybe they'll click on this later, the ones that come out with these statuses, and they'll listen. What I'm going to say now is this. I've just read a status saying that how have we fell so far behind Manchester United? I nearly fell off my chair. I nearly fell off my chair. How have we fallen far behind? And that's not the first person to say it, and I've got no against them having this opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what I've seen this season, and I've been right out here on Anfield Road, right in amongst it. I've even worked through the club during a pandemic, and I've seen a lot that goes on. Well, worked as a cleaner for the club, I need to say as well, because obviously I always get people saying that as well. But you know what I'm on about. I was there when we won the league. I was there during the pandemic. So what I'm saying is I'm just going to say something. This season, I've been a Liverpool fan 37 years. Take 7 years off. I've really started to get into Liverpool when I was about 6, 7. So say 30 years, 3 decades. I've never seen a season like this. I have never, ever in my life watched Liverpool lose their entire defence. Entire defence. Can you remember it? Because I never have seen it. Can you remember when we had Neil Ruddock, John Scales, or we had Phil Babb, or we had, Hippier and Henshaw, or we had, Carragher, Inaga. Can you ever remember where we had to play, let's say John Barnes at centre-back, let's say Steve McManaman at right-back, or we had to borrow a couple of teenagers to fill in positions that were playing 6 divisions below us not so long ago. So it does get my back up. It really does annoy me. And like I say, this ain't a rant. If you were a Liverpool fan and you've watched this season, and your evaluation is how have we fell this far behind Man United or many others, it's not just that one that said that, this is me speaking after seeing so many. You can't be watching the same team as us. You cannot be watching the same team. Sit still, Lucas, while I'm live. Right, because let me just do a few points here. Can you remember the start of the season when we were robbed in the Merseyside derby of a late winner by VAR? Can you remember against Brighton when we were robbed by VAR of a shocking penalty? I mean, this isn't excuses. You've got to evaluate, like Klopp said, it's not excuses. This is what we've had to deal with. I reckon VAR has robbed about 10 to 12 points off us this season. Let me just turn down his Xbox sound a minute. Just while I'm live, Lucas. Okay. I reckon VAR has robbed us of about 10 to 12 points this season, easily. So that's the first point. So that's the gap between us and Man United. Followed by the fact that we've then lost all of our centre-backs. All of them, right? I don't know how many times Milner's had to fill in at right and left back this season as well, right? We've then had to play midfielders in centre-back or in defence. Then we've had to sign 2 centre-backs in January that have both had spells on the sideline. In fact, one of them hasn't even put the red shirt on yet and came on the pitch. We've then had to play our best defensive midfielder, and look at the record Liverpool have got with Fabinho in midfield. Look how many games we've won. Right? We've then had to drop him into centre-back. which has killed our midfield. Henderson, how long's Henderson been out for now? Weeks? How many games has he missed? Our inspirational captain. How many? Then you've got Alisson. How many games did Alisson miss as well? Right? Then you top up the fact that Klopp lost his mum. Couldn't even go and see her buried. I keep saying this. Alisson lost his dad. Couldn't even go and see him get buried. Right? So this is me halfway through a supporter saying, how have we fell so far behind Man United? Let me tell you something now. Man United are beating average football teams in the Europa League, because the Europa League is a second-rate competition based on the fact the Champions League is the elite, right? Well done, Manchester United. Congratulations. Didn't they win that under Jose a few years back? They still can't qualify for the top four. The only reason why they're in the top four this season is because of what's happened to Liverpool. Because to tell you something now, we would be 10, 15 points clear of them now, and we would also have won the league. I know that if we didn't lose Virgil van Dijk, we didn't lose all of our defence, we didn't have to play our best midfielders in defence, we didn't have to deal with VAR completely robbing us, and they have. Look at the league table. This isn't excuses. We are the most done over by VAR team this season. Man United, how many penalties have they got now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? How many games have they won by penalties in the last 2 years? It is shocking. I'm sick to death of looking at their scores and seeing Fernandes penalty. I don't even give a shit if it was a penalty. How many times do you get penalties that you should have got that you don't get? United seem to get them all. And it's infuriating, right? But when we've got our own supporters trying to say, how have we fell this far behind Man United? Next season, we will be streets ahead of them again. Because nobody wants to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They don't. They don't. Who wants to? It's not tactically great. He's took advantage of Liverpool being played. I told you, Klopp's working miracles for us to even be in the top four. Chelsea have sacked their manager half through. Arsenal are completely in turmoil, right? And that's the difference. They took advantage of a season where there's no supporters. Man United fans don't get behind their side when things are going bad. They're one of the worst. It's like Everton. Everton have had a good season because that toxic fan base ain't in their stadium every. Same as West Ham. West Ham are having their best season in history because their fans ain't trying to get on the pitch and kill the players and ain't booing the board every week. Honestly, this season is a complete write-off. I don't care where anybody finishes in the league because at the end of the day, you haven't got what makes you the team you are. I reckon Sheffield United would have stayed up this season if they'd have had their fans. It made Bramall Lane is one of them old school English stadiums. They would have had their fans. They were in the top four before the pandemic, Sheffield United. And I firmly believe that had it not been for the pandemic, Sheffield United would have been playing Champions League football because they were unbelievable. They were beating everybody. They had a great defence. They were doing amazing. You know, and I just think of it as you've got to know football to look at things like this. Liverpool have got no divine right to win every trophy they play in. They have no divine right to finish in the top four every season. Isn't that what we've just been fighting the Americans for? But you get supporters that just presume it's, oh right, we have to, I can't believe how far we fell behind. Well, I can. I'll just give you the list. If you can't see that, watch this video and listen to supporters, all other supporters like myself that will comment on this saying, you're right, Neil. You know why I'm right? Because we see the game. We see what we're seeing. Klopp has done wonders this season. I hope to God that that man, as soon as that final whistle goes against Palace, gets to fly away to Germany, goes and sees his bloody mum, God bless her, and goes and spends a good few weeks in Germany and breathes again, because that man has stood up for every value of this football club from the minute he's walked in the door, right? So give the man a break. How have we failed so far behind Solskjaer's Man U? What, because they've won a Thursday night cup? Well, they ain't even won it yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they bottled it and lost the final to Villarreal. Yeah? They've spent an absolute fortune. Everyone raving about Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola spent over £1 billion to get them to the Champions League final. Rafa did it with Igor Bischan and Steve Finnan. In fact, Steve Finnan was a good player. He did it with Igor Bischan and Sinamar Pongolle and Neil Mellor. You know, he did it with basically a B team and won the Champions League. So let's have raving about Pep Guardiola as well. He's another fraud. Tell you what, he got his job at Man City and bottled it first season. Needed £400 million to sort his defence out. Klopp didn't get 400 million. Klopp didn't get 400 million to put this right, and he still might finish in the top 4. So I think some people need to look at the match, look at football, and then when you're putting up things like, and again, it's not just personally, that's just about 20th person I've seen saying it now. How are we so shit? It winds me up. What are you watching? Are you watching Liverpool or are you not? Are you just looking at the scores and going, oh, we're not winning and turning it off? You must be, because you're not seeing what we're seeing. You know, the hatred against Kabach is doing my head in. The lad's 21. He's a good defender, a very good defender that we can work with. And with Van Dijk in his ear, he could go on to be a top defender. So you can just see a good player. There's a lot of fans that know. What did he say about Liverpool fans? Danny Murphy said it on TalkSport the other day. They're educational. You go to Anfield, they'll applaud a good player. Shearer said it. You can feel the respect you get at Anfield. They know a good player. Can you remember when Barcelona beat us 3-1 and we applauded them off the pitch? Pepe Reina, the goalkeepers, every goalkeeper gets a standing ovation going towards the Kop. Liverpool fans know a good footballer when they see one. And then these people saying, Kabach is so shit, if Klopp signs him, he's a joke. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp knows how to sign a defender, right? All right, if you don't think he's good enough, all right, you're entitled to your opinion. That's what you stand for. But I go with what Klopp says. And also, it's again his age. Are you doubting Klopp's ability as a coach then? Do you not think Klopp can make a player better? Was Andy Robertson the best left back in the world before he signed for Liverpool? No, he wasn't. We got laughed at when we signed him, right? Was Gini Wijnaldum as good as he was? No, he was relegated with Newcastle, you know. Hang about. And Kabach's been relegated with Schalke. Exactly. Klopp can turn, his famous slogan is, I don't buy world-class players, I make them. Was Mo Salah as good as he was before he signed for Klopp? No. Was Bobby Firmino? I watched Bobby Firmino in his early years under Rodgers, and I thought he was a waste of money. I don't know whether you agree with me on that, but I actually generally thought he was a waste of money first few games. He gave the ball away, he wasn't strong enough. Klopp's turned him into an animal. And that's what I'm saying. I have faith in Jurgen Klopp. And like I say, you're entitled to your opinions, but I just be myself, right? You can disagree with me or you can agree with me. I'm not bothered. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's what it's a fan channel about. But I will stick up for Klopp. And I will stick up for our boys because they have been through hell and back this season. And they need our support. And I keep seeing statuses as well of people, comments of people going, oh, lose this, top 4's over. Yeah, we all know that. Stop concentrating on negativity and say, we're going to win this. Let's get behind the lads. Let's feel it. Let's all get behind the lads. And if we don't make top 4, then we've had a bloody good reason to. About 20 good reasons to. So just start believing in the club a bit more. I know this is called Doubters and Believers. It doesn't mean we all have to start going, we're going to win every game, and if you don't believe that, then you're shit. I'm not saying that. But just have a little bit more respect for what them lads are giving us over the last 2 or 3 seasons, because all them little nights out you've had, all them little parties, all them little parades that are coming, they've worked their arse off to give us them, and they deserve a little bit of respect. And Klopp, that man behind me, touching that, is a living god round here. He is Shankly reincarnated on with Bruce Grobbelaar. He epitomises everything this football club stands for. And even when he said, I ain't going nowhere, I'm going to fix this, I guarantee you he rang up John W. Henry and said, I'm gone. I'm gone if you don't pull out now. I'm telling you this now. You can, what's he keep saying now? It won't affect our transfer budget if we don't get in the Champions League. You know why? What did I say on the BBC News the other week? John W. Henry is going to have to literally spend his way out of this shit. And he'll start by building the Anfield Road end. That will go ahead in the next few weeks. I've already spoke to people in the area and they've told me it's going ahead. People that work at the club, everything, the security have all told me. The fact, but we knew that anyway. Anyone that lives here knows it's happening. We get the Red Neighbours magazine posted through our door telling us the planning permission's set to go, everything's set to go. The minute Palace is finished, I've heard it starts. Then they flatten all the area to get it ready to be ready for the 223 season. So there you go. So like I said, there's so much to look forward to. And I will say to all the people doubting this football club, doubting Klopp, enjoy him while he's here. Because if you think these are bad times, wait till that man goes. Wait till that man goes. Because I think you need to start realising who we've got in charge of us and enjoy what we've got for the next 3 years. Because this man is a world-class football manager that is going to, on the verge of getting a team that's had half of their team out injured during a pandemic with no supporters. And by the way, I don't care if everyone else has had no supporters. They're not Anfield. They're not Liverpool. There was a reason why we went 4 years and nearly 5 years unbeaten at Anfield. The 12th man. As soon as they went, look at the amount of defeats we had at home. Do you think that's a coincidence? No. Anfield is special. Read all the books, read all the old players that used to say, Thierry Henry said he used to shiver. John Terry said it gave him goosebumps. Kaka, Pirlo, all the greats of the game said this. What did Guardiola say? He said it's something about Anfield, but one of the best ones, look, it's giving me shivers now speaking about it. One of the best ones was by Arsene Wenger, no, Mourinho. He said Anfield can make miracles. So believe in the Reds. Speak to you soon. That's my little rant over. See you later.